to everyone. I'm Ada from Poison Drop, and today we have a new band, and if you can say, new guys on the metal scene, and we have Tom and Pat from Tailgunner. First of all, guys, how are you? It's a pleasure.
Hey, good to be here.
Pleasure to be here.
I wanted just to start with not just speaking about the band, we go through that, but just speaking first of all about single of you. So who is Tom, who is Pat? And how do you meet each other? And so let's then move on to how the band was born.
Sure. So, I mean, I got into like rock and heavy metal and stuff when I was like 11 years old. Yeah. I came home from school one day with the riff to Smoke on the Water stuck in my head. And I was singing it out loud. Like my dad was like, "Oh, fuck. Like if you like that riff, listen to this." And he sat me down with Back in Black, like the whole record.
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard Hell's Bells, it was like that bit in like the Wizard of Oz, you know, when it goes from black and white to color. That was like,
that's a lot.
Yeah, the start of the rest of my life. And then when I was putting Tailgunner together, I knew Pat from like social media and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, that dude looks really cool. I knew that he could play really well. And then we actually met for the first time at a place called Lost Boys Pizza in Camden. It's like a cool rock and roll like pizza place. And I looked in the corner and I saw this dude with a fucking massive LA Guns patch on his jacket. And I was like, fuck, who's that?
Man.
And he turned around and we were both like, oh shit, it's you. And we went to this like metal or like glam metal kind of nightclub in London called Decadence. And I was chatting to him there for a while. I was like, you have to join my band. Like we need you in the band. And at that point it was just me. And he was like, oh dude, like, you know, you were busy with.
Yeah, I was in another band and I saw him on Instagram making all of these posts and I thought this looks so cool. I really wish I could do it. And then, cool. And then later on, I left that band and called Tom straight away. And, so I was out of the band.
Love at first sight.
Yeah. He called me. He was like, "Do you still need a guitarist? Like, I've just quit my band, like just now." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, you're in." So yeah, you didn't have a band for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. And what about the other guys? So let's introduce also the other guys in the band.
Sorry.
I say, what about the other guys? Introduce the other guys in the band.
Okay, so yeah, we've got Craig Kent on vocals, Zach Salvini on guitar, and Sam Caldwell on drums. We all live in different areas of the country.
Okay.
So I mean, Zach's actually like Italian, but he lives in Reading, which is near me in London. Craig is in Stoke, where like Lemmy and Slasher are both from, which is pretty cool. And Sam is in Liverpool.
Okay, so you're spread.
We're spread all over the place, yeah. I mean, luckily we don't mind getting the train.
I mean, at least you don't need the airplane to meet together.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, especially with this period, it's really heavy. And how Tailgunner started, basically, because first you bought two of you and the rest of the guys joined later. And
so it was like I mean we've all been in bands since we were kids, like including myself. And in 2018 I left my last band because it was going in a direction that I didn't really identify with. And I was like, if I'm gonna do this again, if I'm gonna be in another band, I need it to just be the thing that I've always wanted a band to be since I was like a kid, since I first heard AC/DC and Maiden and stuff. And I was like, I just want to put the band that I've had in my head since I was little together. This is when I was like living at home. I was with my mum before I like moved out and stuff, and I sat down in the garage with a notepad that's on the fucking table over there and like just brainstormed what it would take to make this fucking band, and then went out on social media and stuff and tried to find the rest of the guys, and it took like 2 years.
It's a long research.
Yeah, it took like 2 years to put the band together.
I saw his Instagram post for about a year, and I thought this looks amazing. And I thought, how has this guy not found the band yet?
Yeah. So basically, like everyone else was already in bands, and I kind of had to just wait for those bands to break up. But like I traveled up to, I did like a 10-hour round trip to Liverpool to see Craig and Sam's last band. And like walked into the venue, and I think at that point, because I've been talking to Craig, and I was like, dude, like you have to sing for this band, you know. Like as soon as I heard his voice, I was like, well, fuck, that's the singer. And it wasn't until I turned up to see them that he was like, oh shit, like this guy's really serious, you know.
That's great. So basically, you find the perfect combo.
We're like a little underground super group.
Yeah, right now underground, because I can imagine like right now in 5 years, 2 years, you will be already in a lot of festivals. I was saying, and what about the name? Because of course it's a common question. What about Tailgunner? Where did you get the idea from?
So basically, we were looking for a name for a long time.
Months.
Like in the first lockdown, I actually bought a dictionary and a thesaurus, and I would just spend like an hour every morning just reading the fucking dictionary, like listening to records. And I came up with a list of like literally like 150 or so names that I thought were cool. And then they were either all taken, or like one or two people in the band didn't like the name. And I think it's so important with a band name, like everyone has to like it, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Because you can't go out there and fucking and play under a name that, you know, you don't love. So Tailgunner, I got to the point basically where I was like, well, it's a really cheesy thing, but like I'm just gonna look through like my playlist of metal tunes. Saw the Iron Maiden song name, because that's where we took it from. And I was like, you know what, like that's actually pretty sick. And I think with band names, when you first come up with it, like they all kind of sound stupid anyway, and it's only when it like, you know, it becomes normal and you get used to the name that it becomes like a thing. So
yeah, it's because of course you associate the name Tailgunner to the band, not maybe to the song. That's or but of course, and I didn't song about Iron Maiden Tailgunner, so for me it was the first, just you Tailgunner, I just associated to you straight away. So
okay, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, because it's a name of impact. And right now basically is it was out your first single, Guns for Hire. It's a fucking amazing. So let's go too deep the process of this single, the editing, the mastering, the lyrics, the topic. So I leave the word to both of you.
Sure. So Guns for Hire was one of the first songs that I wrote for the band. Again, like before there was a band. Like in spring of 2019. And it's inspired a lot by Halloween and like a few new Wappen bands. Chastain as well, actually.
Oh, you know Chastain? So you know Leather Leone. This is a good thing, you know, leather. And this is the tattoo that I had made for her last album. Yeah. So if she's listening, and she will be listening because I will tag her. We are really close with me and Leather.
Cool.
We can arrange something in England for a tour with them, with her.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Really, it's amazing. I have never heard someone speaking about Chastain.
Yeah.
So hi, Leather.
Voice of the Cult was an inspiration for Guns for Hire. So
fucking amazing. Okay, so sorry, I was giving you the word. It's really good things. And basically, keep on speaking about the single. Sorry if I interrupt you.
So like basically, when I was trying to get the lineup together, I sent the demo that I had made out to a few people. Trying to get musicians to play on it just so I could like then shop it around and stuff and try and put a band together. And the musicians that played on the demo ended up joining. I got Craig to do vocals and our guitarist Zach played guitar on it. They both ended up joining, and that's what I sent to Pat. And I
The
think
demo sounded great.
Yeah, that was like the first time that you heard the band.
Mm-hmm.
And this demo is out, is available for people to listen to? Or is just
but
hidden?
just on Tom's Instagram.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the first official single, and so now you are and the video clip, because you just go straight with the video clip and the single. That is good, because you give also to the people an idea who is in the band as well, and the energy of the band. So and what about for the shooting of the video clip? How was it?
Yeah, that was great. It's actually, we shot the Guns for Hire video. That was the second video we did.
Okay.
The second single, which is going to be out in like early March, we shot first.
We actually shot both of those videos on the same street.
Yeah, it's quite convenient. But the place, funny enough, that we shot Guns for Hire is where Craig and Sam used to rehearse in Liverpool with their last band. And it's where they did the screen tests for the first like Hellraiser, which it was pretty cool. And basically it's like an old factory in Liverpool that's like
an abandoned place.
Yeah, it's like it's a shit basically, but we love it.
I mean, this is more underground than that. I don't know what is the
word. Exactly.
So, and what about instead of the lyrics? Which is your main topic that you want to speak about and in the lyrics?
I think for me, like, one of the important things is, I like in metal, like the fantasy stuff and like Dio and Iron Maiden and stuff. But with us, it's a little bit different. Like, I think we're a bit heavier than that musically.
Okay.
And topic wise, it's not like more serious, but just more real. Like there's a few songs on the album about us as individuals and as a band. That's what Guns for Hire is about. Is about Tailgunner and about being a heavy metal fan in this day and age and what it means, and that this isn't the sort of music that you half-heartedly enjoy. It's a whole identity and lifestyle. And then other lyrics on the albums there's some like historical stuff about different wars and just anything that we find interesting, really, that is a subject that is worth talking about. As long as it's not boring, then it makes for great heavy metal.
Yeah, of course. And of course, being an heavy metal band, of course, but we can say classical metal band, is not easy nowadays, because as you can see, from all over the Europe and the world, we have extreme metal bands, completely new, especially extreme metal bands, which are good as well, of course. But how is being a classic heavy metal band nowadays in Europe? I mean, how do you feel? You find it difficult, or you are receiving a good feelings from the people?
It's been great.
That's awesome.
I mean, there are bands like Schoolfist and Enforcer and all of those bands doing so well. And, people who we've seen with our playlist competition on Spotify, loads of people who listen to those bands seem to like us as well. Yeah. And there absolutely is a scene for the old sounding metal.
I think that was something really important. Like, if we'd have put out Guns for Hire and people that were into Enforcer, Riot City, Visigoth, those kind of bands weren't into what we did, we'd have been a little bit fucked, because that's the audience that we want. And I think there's never, like, as I know for myself, there was never a conscientious choice to play old school heavy metal or whatever. It's just like, from the age of 12, like, I love Guns and Iron Maiden, AC/DC, and just like that to me, it's not even like an old school thing. Like, that's how it's supposed to sound. I think most of the teenagers should start from the classical and then make and choose at the end if you go to the extreme or to the classic. But nowadays they started with the black metal, and maybe they don't know even who are Venom. So exactly. If you're gonna play black metal, then you need to listen to Venom first.
Of course, as well as or Black Sabbath for all the metal stuff. And before digging a little bit in the personal stuff of both of you, the musical taste, what about the current project of Tailgunner? And what about the upcoming album and the upcoming gigs, if you had planned already something?
Sure. So we have the first tour in March. It's a small UK tour.
Oh, yeah, you will be in Portsmouth, right? We may be
Portsmouth.
I will be there probably. Yeah.
Oh, in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Okay, sick. Okay, we'll see you there. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
And yeah, basically the plan is to, depending on how well that tour goes, to do a bigger one in the summer and then a bigger one again in like autumn, winter time. We want to get over to Europe and we want to see what support tours are worth us jumping on. And with the album, like we recorded this time last year, we rented an old like Victorian chapel in the middle of nowhere, and we moved in. Like it's probably fucking haunted. This place was super creepy, and we did the majority of the recording on the altar in the chapel. Lived there all together for like about 2 weeks, recorded the album, and
it's remind me a little bit of Black Sabbath style.
Got a lot of great footage as well from that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So yeah, everything we've done for like the past 2 years we filmed. So at some point there's going to be like a big documentary of like home footage about.
And this as well, because you have something of the like, of course, like we are in 2022, so basically we have to post things on social media as well. But if you remember in the old times, they usually have tapes with all those documentary, because nowadays bands just posted, I don't know, stories. They don't do any more documentaries. So this is a cool idea. I mean, you're trying to keep a little bit old, get a vintage and modern at the same time.
For sure, like. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Actually, is we're trying to do an old school thing, but in the modern day and in modern ways, and like not look down our noses at all of this different technology and social media and things we can utilize, because I think that tends to be a thing with like traditional heavy metal and similar genres, is that they see stuff like Instagram or whatever or Facebook, and these bands don't put, in my opinion, enough effort into social media. And it's like, for us, we've had like a fucking tiny advertising budget, and the reason that people know about us so far is because we've worked really hard.
That's great.
And like the thing is, I think it's just looking after your fans. Like if people like what you do, really look after them, give them new stuff to read and to look at every single day, you know.
Yeah, but of course, because you have to, because heavy metal used to be, a classic. So back in the time, you had a lot of heavy metal bands, and nowadays you don't have so many heavy metal bands. So which is weird. So when you see an heavy metal band, for you it's something new. So people may pay more attention to that, and it's good because you come back to the roots. Like I was saying before, when I got into do leather, speak with leather owners all the time, that in the world we need more heavy metal. The pure heavy metal. Yeah. Now you will be a little bit. You will hate me for a little bit because you have to answer separately, and we're going to find out your taste. And first, you, Tom, you have to pick 5 albums. So 5 albums that had an influence on you since you were a child until today. Okay.
So the first would have to be, it's a bit of like a typical choice, but Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses. Like that record totally shaped my life. They're my favorite band. Although what we do obviously is heavy metal, and the majority of my taste is metal related. Guns N' Roses, especially in that era. The second would be, I would say, like both Keeper of the Seven Keys records by Halloween. Again, it's just, they changed my life. The reason that Tailgunner exists is because of those 2 records. Power Rage from AC/DC. This is my favorite AC/DC record. Like the Bon Scott stuff for me, like I like Brian Johnson too, but Bon Scott's untouchable. I would say probably the Misfits debut,
Okay.
Like the one that was re-released in the 90s. I love Misfits. Like, again, I think with what we do and with everything I've always done musically, it's kind of underpinned by a punk rock attitude. I think like whatever style of music you play, if you play guitar-based music, you got to have some balls. And like, I take that from punk rock, and I love Misfits. And the final one that I would go for is Somewhere in Time, Iron Maiden. I think it's the greatest metal album ever made. It's just perfect, and it's a masterpiece. So
perfect. Then what about you, Pat? You had more time to think.
One of them would absolutely, for me, have to be 1984 from Van Halen. For me, it's just a completely flawless album. Eddie Van Halen's guitar work on that is spectacular.
Yeah.
And I've listened to it all the time since I first heard it. So I don't even know. I was a young kid. Another one would have to be Rust in Peace from Megadeth. Some great guitar work on there as well.
I agree.
And really cool subject matter. It's just about nuclear annihilation, basically. Slayer, Rain in Blood.
A bit of trash.
Again, really cool subject matter, sadistic. The first time I heard the solo to Angel of Death, I've never heard any guitar playing that fast ever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And so I bought the album straight away, and then Piece by Piece, Altar of Sacrifice, all of these songs are just 2 minutes long. And the whole album is 28 minutes long, but it's got 10 songs on there, and they all blend in. It's just great. And then another one would have to be Altars of Madness from Morbid Angel.
Okay.
Trey Azagthoth has a very unique style of playing guitar. His riffs and stuff are very unconventional, I would say.
Yeah, between the pioneer of that metal. So yeah.
Well, of course, and there's the whole debate as to whether Scream Bloody Gore or Altars of Madness is the first, or Possessed.
Or Seven Churches. Yes, I know.
Seven Churches is sick, actually. Yeah.
Exactly. But still to this day, nobody can decide which was the first true death metal album.
Yeah, I think it's up to us to decide. Because of even
and
between
last
them.
but not least, it would have to be Eaten Back to Life from Cannibal Corpse.
Cannibal Corpse. You're a little bit more extreme. You're more classical. But this is good.
I definitely have the heaviest taste of music.
But this is good because this brought some kind of different influences to the sound of Tailgunner as well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Pat's like the more extreme stuff. I'm more like classic heavy metal, but then we both agree on like speed metal kind of stuff, Exciter and Razor.
Exactly, yeah.
And then last night we were listening to Dave Lee Roth.
Yeah, in Spanish.
And
we both love glam metal because
don't speak to me. One of my favorite bands are Motley Crue and all the Sunset Strip band. So don't talk this to me. I came from that war. So White Snake, Wet Lion, Still Art,
and Rat.
Yeah, I won't be here if it was for that. And now I'll start from you, Pat, so we give to Tom a little bit time to think about that. Now you are a metal organizer, okay? So you are an event planner. You can choose the country when you want to settle the festival, and the band when you want to play in the festival. You can even say 3 bands, 10 bands, just up to you.
So we got to pick how many bands?
It's up to you. Even 1, even 2, even 3. Just it's up to you. It's not easy, I know.
All right. I think I would have the festival in Germany.
Okay.
Because, Germany has some great festivals, like Wacken, of course. The bands. That's a really good question.
Could be even we're going to say band from the past.
Bands from the past.
It's up to you. Your imaginary festival.
I'll probably have Megadeth with the Rust in Peace lineup with Nick Menzer and Marty Friedman, which of course isn't possible anymore because Nick Menzer is dead.
Yeah.
that would be very cool. Who else? I'd need to think.
You want to exchange?
I would probably on another day headlining. I'd put classic lineup Van Halen as well.
Okay.
With Dave Lee Roth talking all of his usual shit on stage. It would depend. I could do a death metal one, or I could do a hair metal one.
You can do both. You can just say one day death metal and the other day classical metal.
If it was hair metal, I'd absolutely have White Lion, Cinderella, LA Guns, and Smashed Gladys probably opening.
Perfect. Yeah. So other bands, or we leave to Tom, the organization of the other festival?
It's Tom's turn now, I think.
So, yeah, I would have AC/DC with Bon Scott.
Okay.
Appetite for Destruction, lineup Guns N' Roses. Late 80s Iron Maiden, when Adrian was like in the band in that era. King Diamond.
Okay.
I would love, like, if you could bring him back from the grave and just pay him whatever he wanted, then just like get Cawthorn on stage, man. Like doing like the first 5 albums or whatever, even just the debut in full. That would be fucking amazing. Because obviously you can't even go and find footage of like any Battery gigs. I think they played like 3 shows in like the mid 80s, so that would be amazing. So yeah, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, King Diamond, Battery, and like classic Misfits, I would say.
And the country?
And the country, let's do it in London, because then I can just fucking walk there.
For near home, just open the door and the festival is there. Yeah, so near home, so it's even easier.
We'll do it in my garden, yeah.
Yeah. So just before ending the interview, since there are a lot of teenagers out there, and of course, you know how is start playing an instrument or taking, you know, the chance to go out and really take the music as career, or like following a passion, because mostly of them just keep on rehearsing in the rehearsal room and practicing, and that's it. But you take the chance and you follow it, and you did it because you are doing a great job. So what do you feel to say to this teenager out there?
I would say, like, with music, there's nothing wrong with wanting to just do it for fun. If you just want to like enjoy yourself and play in a bar and stuff, that's absolutely fine. But make sure that you know what's going on with your bandmates. Like, if someone wants to fucking play stadiums and someone just wants to have fun, there's going to be a problem. Make sure that you're on the same page. And if you do want to fucking play stadiums, just go for it. Just stay on the road and just keep going, and don't listen to anyone, because at the end of the road there's fucking Wembley. So just keep going. So before ending, what do we have to expect from Tailgunner right now in the next future? We're gonna release a new single every 8 to 10 weeks across 2022.
Okay.
With a few UK tours. We're gonna look over and getting over to Europe as soon as we can.
Okay.
We want to play Germany, Sweden, Spain. And the full debut album will be out in January 2023.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, we've had a long time to plan this.
That's great. Can't wait to listen that. So thank you so much, Pat and Tom. It was really a pleasure. And when the album will be out, we'll update the interview again, because we have to do a review of the album live. Amazing. So, and then maybe we will have a letter on it right in the corner.
Yes. Yeah, keep in touch about that.
No, I will do it for sure. Believe me. She's amazing. So thank you so much, and I wish you all the best, because you deserve it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you in Portsmouth.
See you in Portsmouth, of course.
We're the ones that